Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to share with you what I have been cooking up this week. First off, we have a delicious shakshuka. Just a heads up, I did all the cooking in the video myself, but my mom helped me with this one since I had my hands full with other work. So let's get started. Let's start by cooking the onions and chilies in oil until the onions turns translucent. Once they are soft, we'll add in the tomatoes. Next, we'll cover the pan and let it cook for a bit before adding our spices like turmeric powder, red chili powder, coriander powder, and Kashmiri red chili powder. Next, we'll add some water to the spices and let it cook until the sauce thickens up. After that, we'll stir in some ginger garlic paste and add a splash of more water because the mixture was starting to get a bit too thick. Then we'll create the wells in the mixture and crack in some eggs, a sprinkle of black pepper powder on top, a few fresh coriander leaves, and we are done. Our shakshuka is ready to be served. But my mom didn't create well for the eggs, but feel free to do so if you prefer. And honestly, I know this isn't the authentic shakshuka recipe, but my mom's quick version still packs a lot of flavor and it still turns out really delicious. I paired it up with some roti and enjoy it as a breakfast. Next, I whipped up a salad that's been trending on shorts lately. I made it with cucumber and carrots, cutting them into a thin slices, and if you like you can also add other veggies to it. After that, we'll make simple yogurt dressing consisting of yogurt, black pepper powder, salt, amchur powder, and a pinch of red chili powder. Mix it all together and drizzle it over the veggies. Additionally, I have also added some chopped fresh mint and coriander leaves to it for extra flavor and freshness. And for day 2, I made an omelette with a difference. I started with eggs, then added chopped onions, tomatoes, and green chilies. Next, I sprinkled in some spices like salt, black pepper powder, red chili powder, and ginger garlic paste. If you have got green chutney on hand, throw that in too. Mix it all up, pour it onto a hot pan with a little oil. Once it's cooked to perfection on both sides, we'll serve it up with some roti or bread and you can enjoy. Later that day, I made this bhindi ki sabzi. Everyone probably knows how to make bhindi ki sabzi, but I really like this particular one that my mom makes. We'll start by heating some mustard oil and sauteing sliced onions and green chilies. Then we'll add chopped okra and let it cook for a bit. Next, we'll add chopped tomatoes and salt and let it cook until everything comes together. Finally, we'll stir in some chopped coriander leaves and serve it over dal and rice with a pat of ghee on top. And here's a comfort meal. Day 3 was all about making salted caramel. I started by mixing sugar and water in a pan, but I goofed up and turned down the heat too soon. I even stirred the sugar, which I wasn't supposed to, which caused it to crystallize. So I scrapped that batch and started fresh. I added sugar to the pan once more, and this time I made sure to add water too, which I had missed out on previously. I mix it all up before turning on the heat, hoping it to get it right this time. Once it's cooking smoothly without crystallizing, it will start to thicken up a bit. As it reaches the perfect amber color, we'll take it off the heat and whisk in some fresh cream and mix it up. After it's all combined, we'll fire up the heat again and add a pat of salted butter and mix it until it's fully incorporated. Then we can finally take it off the heat If you are craving an even saltier flavor, feel free to add more salt to taste. I was good with the amount I had, though let it cool, then transfer it to a glass jar. Now you can use it as a topping for your favorite ice cream or dessert. I paired it up with mashed bananas and milk, and I found it really tasty. On day 4, I tried a healthy paneer recipe. I cut up some paneer, add in the milk, some black pepper powder, red chili powder, and oregano. If you got chili flakes, you can skip the red chilies. Blend everything until smooth. Then add chopped bell pepper, crushed garlic, and chopped green chilies. Mix it all up. If the paneer isn't blending well, just add a bit more milk to get it smooth. Toast 2 slices of bread in butter until crispy. Spread a thick layer of the paneer mix on top. Sprinkle some black pepper powder and red chili powder and dig in. And pop it in the fridge. Later that day, I whipped up mirchi ka achar using a type of chili that I am not familiar with, but it's got just the right amount of heat. To make it, you'll need to chop chilies. Then fill a glass jar with vinegar, adding a little water to dilute it. Next, add the chopped chilies to the jar and mix it all up. Pop it in the fridge and enjoy it with any meal. It's super tasty, but be sure to store it in the fridge. On day 5, I made a dish that I couldn't even name myself. But here's the lowdown. I made a delicious aloo paratha stuffing and used it as a filling in pav, perfect for breakfast or a snack. Next up, we'll mash those spoiled potatoes and add a blend of spices, which is salt, red chili powder, coriander powder, cumin seed, and carom seed, and amchur powder. Then we'll throw in some chopped onions, ginger garlic paste, green chilies, kasuri methi, and coriander leaves. Mix it all up. I had to enlist my mom's help with the mixing part since my hands starts burning from the spices. Next up, we'll take the bread and apply chutney on one side and mayonnaise on other, which I had put off camera because I didn't think of using it at the time. Then we'll add a generous amount of stuffing and grill it in butter until it's golden and crispy. And I assure you, it's very tasty. You have to try it. Day 6 was all about making the perfect pani for pani puri. This recipe is the one I like the most. So it all starts with soaking tamarind for a few hours. Next, I wash and blended some coriander leaves, mint leaves, chilies, and garlic in a mixer, and also raw mango. But I didn't have, so I left it out. Then I added some water and blended until smooth, then transferred it to a bowl. Then I whipped up a spice mix with amchur powder, chaat masala, and black salt. I mashed the tamarind in the water, removed the seeds, and added a bit more water to get the right consistency. Meanwhile, I made other spice mix with coriander seed, cumin seed, and dry red chili, which I toasted and ground onto a fine powder. I added both spice mix to the water and gave it a good stir. Next, I added some jaljeera to the mix, along with a few more spices, and adjusted the water to taste. Then I cut up some cucumber, sliced some lemon, chopped coriander and mint leaves, added them to the water. Finally, I gave it a good stir and enjoy it with puri and ragda. Just a tip, if you are adding lemon slices like I did, be sure to finish the water same day. If you store it in the fridge for later, it might lose some of its flavor and become a bit bitter. Or you can just squeeze in some fresh lemon juice instead of adding slices. Day 7 was the most special because I tried making no bake cheesecake, and the twist was that I used paneer instead of cream cheese, and it didn't even need an oven to make it. To make this, I blended the paneer with some milk until it was silky smooth. If the milk is insufficient, it won't be smooth. Then I whipped sweetened whipped cream until it formed stiff peak. After that, I added fresh cream and sweetened condensed milk and whipped until it was super smooth. Now I have crushed a cheese flavor cracker into crumbs and mixed it with melted salted butter to create the crust. Next, I prepared a container to set the cheesecake in and lined the base with foil. Then I took the blended paneer in a bowl and mixed it thoroughly. However, when I mixed the paneer, I noticed a strong raw taste of paneer which wasn't pleasant at all. To fix this, I added a bit more condensed milk, powdered sugar, and vanilla drops to try to mask the rawness. It helped a bit, but some of the raw taste still lingered. Next, I'll create the base for my cheesecake by spreading the cracker crumbs evenly in the container and pressing them down firmly to set. Then I pour the paneer mixture over the base and it's ready to be chilled. Next, I chose a mulberry flavored jam. Feel free to pick your favorite flavor. I took it out in a bowl, mashed it up a bit, and spread it over the cheesecake. But it ended up sinking down instead of staying on top. I was hoping to create a beautiful design, but it didn't quite happen. Then I took the leftover mixture, mixed it in mashed jam, and poured it into a small container. Then I popped it in the freezer to chill like an ice cream without the cracker crumbs. Then I pulled the cheesecake out of the fridge and it had firmed a bit. So I gave making a jam design another shot and it worked. But as you can see, it still wasn't set properly. So I popped it in the freezer and now it's absolutely perfect. It cuts beautifully and the flavor is amazing. The weird raw taste from the paneer was gone and It was so much delicious. Give it a try, but honestly, it's more like an ice cream cheesecake at this point. So because of this recipe and method, I think I'll just call it ice cream cheesecake from now. So which of this recipe from this week did you like the most? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll catch you all in the next video. Until then, take care and goodbye. See you soon.